Pink eye is temporary, but he'll never forget that Rim Reaper.
Welcome to Gay Talk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Good evening, salutations, and welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of Gay Talk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters on the day of recording. My name is Tom, and I am your host, and as always, I'm in the studio with some amazing people, starting with the first one, which is weird because typically you're not, but you're gonna be.
I'm Hope, Trisha's worst nightmare.
And she hates that. And
JBird, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
I thought you were going to say your ragdoll's ragdoll,
Yeah,
but you know,
ragdoll.
but we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, welcome back. A quick note: we took a break last week. We had to. We were digging ourselves out yet again from another massive snowstorm. This would be the second time that we have received well over 15, 16 inches of snow in less than a month. And that was a lot. And I guess we'll start there. So where were y'all when, we got dug under, a fucking, what do you call those? A glacier.
A blizzard.
A blizzard. I felt like I lived under a glacier for like months. So I'll start with you, Hope. How are you doing? How did you deal with that whole mess?
I'm doing well. We had the great fortune of Nicole, who works at the airport, my partner. Because of the impending snowstorm, she actually got Sunday off, which is not normal for her. So she got Sunday off. And that meant we got to be together, bunker down, get the house ready. And then it was just like, I don't know. I felt ready for it because we had it only a few weeks earlier.
Right.
So my team, we already moved a lot of stuff remote. And I got to just work from home and cuddle with the cats. And I'm very privileged. Like, we don't have kids. We don't have dogs. So it's not like we had kids staying home from school or dogs like you all to walk.
Oh, my dog went through it.
Poor baby.
Yeah. So, it's so during the first snowstorm, it was so big that I went out there with my snowblower on my grass and I did like a 16 by 16, patch of area where they could use the bathroom. But that snow lingered around for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
So at some point they were like, I am tired of sniffing the same 16 by 16 box. I want to go down there. But they couldn't. And then when they would try, it's the whole sinking into the snow thing. And then, so, just when it started melting, boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cyclone.
We got to see the grass for 2 days, I think.
Not even.
Not even a day and a half.
and they're right back. And this time the box is even smaller because I was just like, I'm too exhausted to, do all of this. But it was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
I remember this time around, it started around 1 in the afternoon on Sunday. Yep. And so I was able to get up early. I went and got gas for the snowblower. I went to the supermarket, picked up, provisions because I knew I was going to be locked in for 4 days. I didn't want to see humans for 4 days. And, but yeah, they're going through it.
Oh, poor baby.
That little box has them, in a state of, I can't go to the end of the property and bark at the other dog kind of depression.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
It was long. It was long. Same thing. My dogs. Well, I sent you the picture. So the smaller one of the two, all.
She's adventurous.
Yeah, 8 inches of her decided she wanted to try and run out into the snow, and front steps hadn't been shoveled out, so she pretty much went down like 5 feet.
Yep.
And she couldn't get back out, so I had to go down there and grab her, and she looked like a little snow dog.
Aww.
Snow everywhere, everywhere. So it was nuts. But yeah, I just kind of waited till the last minute, and thank God for investing on snow blowers, because there was no way I was shoveling all that.
No, I mean, and there are some health risk, which is very important that, we mention, if you are out there shoveling, please take your time, go at a very, very decent but capable pace because there's a lot of research, and they were talking about this on some of the news networks during the snowstorm that moving and shoveling snow is one of the most taxing things that you can do on your body that could cause you to go into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that, and we here on the show have firsthand experience with what it could do to someone.
Absolutely.
Nick, who normally sits where Hope is sitting today, he lost his nephew. It's going to be going on 2 years ago.
It's 2 years already.
He was shoveling snow outside.
Yeah.
20-something years old. He was super young,
Yep.
and and he's gone. And that is how unpredictable it is when you exert your body in ways that it sometimes is not designed to do.
No age limit on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no age limit. If you're not ready, if you're not prepared.
Yep.
That's why even with shoveling the front steps, I take my time.
No, but even with like a snowblower, like I felt my wrists were hurting because that machine vibrates.
Yeah, but you do have the neighborhood too.
I do. So I have a lot of elderly folks that live around me, and folks that are very good to me. So if I have something that could benefit them, then I'm good to them.
Same.
If I lived next to Hope, I'd be doing your sidewalks in your driveway too. You know that, right?
Honest to God, wish that you were. Nicole and I made sure that we tag teamed when we were digging out the car because we didn't want to overexert.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, the car was like up to its almost right underneath the handles.
And your car is not that big to begin
Yeah,
with.
it's a Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a short, squat little car, and the snow was like up to the handles almost. And then when we were out there, I have to give credit, our alder. So in New Haven, we don't have city council folks. We have a board of alders. So our alder for the neighborhood was out there checking on people, being like, do you have to go to work? Do I need to call the city and have them like dig you out faster? Things like that. And we were out there at the moment when we dug the car. This is Monday. We dug the car out, but then the driveway and the street were not plowed. Obviously, we were fine. We were able to work it out. It wasn't a problem for work or anything. But I was just thinking about how all these people around me, like if any of them were blue-collar workers who had to do, whether it was trucking, manufacturing, any kind of job that works those not traditional 9 to 5 hours, or even those, and they couldn't work remotely. My God.
I think, here's what I think. In situations like this, because they're very far few, they're not as frequent, right? If we really think about it, we're on a 10-year schedule.
Yep.
The last major snowstorm we had was in 2016.
Yep.
Here we are, 2026. Prior to that, it was, 1996, 2006, 2016. Every 10 years, we have this cycle of bomb snowstorms. And it would be ideal if the governor declares a state of emergency, then it should be mandatory, should be law that all businesses close down so that you could allow government to do what they need to do, get rid of all this stuff, right? And workers should be paid for that.
Yeah.
And not out of your PTO or sick time or whatever. There should be a law in the books because this doesn't happen all the time. And I'm not talking about 6 inches.
Yeah.
I'm talking about catastrophic amounts of snow that, have people climbing out windows because the snow drifts block your doors. Second time it's happened to me.
Yeah.
I had to climb out. This time I was smart enough. I remembered. I can just
you
climb out.
remembered? Out the front deck?
You in the windows.
Yeah. So it's a thing.
Window to
It's a
wall.
thing. But no, I think, given the situation, I think that, we should have a law in the books. What say you? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I understand why a universal law that would force closure would be a problem, but the flip is what I would advocate for. So saying maybe you aren't forced to close. For example, I'm thinking of like truly a utility company, right? Like the utility.
Well, we
should
can't.
Still, right.
Right.
So I would say when the governor declares a state of emergency, which he did for this last snowstorm,
Yeah, he did.
it should mandate pay. And like the conditions for what is safe to get to work should be very clearly articulated so that folks are not put in a position where they have to go to work unsafely because there's some kind of like ambiguity of the law. We see this happen all the time when there is ambiguity. Larger businesses, the small businesses, mid-size, tend to be on the side of the worker because they themselves, the owner, doesn't want to, I'm thinking of like the local bakery or the record store downtown. Like they could just close because they didn't want to go through it either. But like a big company, they're only going to do what the law requires them to do. So,
Yeah.
Oh, agreed. I mean, for us, we work in utilities, so technically we're considered first responders. So
Yep.
even in a state of emergency, we can traverse through,
That's why we drive what we
highways.
drive.
yeah. Or it should be the expense of the company.
Yeah.
I said this. I actually did say this to Nicole. I was worried that she was going to have to go to work before they finished plowing, and I said it should be incumbent upon the company that they have to figure out how you get to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was like, "No, I have to use my personal time if I want to go." If I want to stay home, sorry. If I want to stay home, I have to use my personal time. I can't just, they're not going to cover that. And then I said, well, what if it's literally impossible for you to get the car out? What then? Why would that be your fault? Why would you have to use PTO? And it's because there's not anything on the books that says they have to figure out. I mean, and a lot of these companies, they could have figured out how to pick her up if that was required of them.
Oh, they'll send.
I remember we used to.
Yeah, in really bad snowstorms. Again, 2016 was one of those years. I was
that was
living in downtown New Haven.
What do you call it? Remote work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pre-remote
They
work.
would send the line guys
Yes.
in those trucks to come and pick you up.
In 2016, I was in New York, and I have this memory I will never forget that in that snowstorm. So whenever I'm like, I can't forget when the last snowstorm is, I actually know exactly when it was because I went to my friend's house on the Upper West Side, and I literally walked right up Central Park West, which is the avenue that goes up the side of Central Park, and I literally walked through the middle of the street in my snow boots with snow up to my knees, carrying a breakfast casserole because the subways weren't working, and I just like walk right up the middle of Central Park West, and I was like, I will never have a core memory like this ever again.
Where were you going with a breakfast casserole?
To my friend's house because we were all like not working because remote work wasn't a thing.
Right.
And so I just like march up Central Park Avenue with my breakfast casserole.
That is intense. It's pretty intense. No, it's pretty crazy. And so needless to say, this is why we were not on the air last week. I was pretty pained after running a snowblower for three and a half hours outdoors and, digging everybody else out, including myself. So I tend to do them first, and then I come back and I sort of kind of take my time and do mine.
Very generous.
Running the risk of running out of gas and then having to trek to the gas station and get gas. So I think I need to switch that strategy around. But we
your
survived.
Oxygen mask on first,
Yes.
then you help the children.
On a plane, yeah.
Maybe with snowblowers.
Maybe that should be too.
Something to consider.
Yes, agreed.
Agreed.
I will take that into consideration only because it's you.
Thank you.
And of course, Nick is not here with us today. As we said, he's away. No, did I say that? No, Nick is not here with us today.
Well, that was kind of obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, she's away.
She's away.
She is in Florida. And the day that she was scheduled to fly out, we had just gone through this bomb cyclone that dumped, almost probably 18 inches of snow, and everything was being cleared up. And then it was supposed to snow again. It actually did, but it wasn't that bad. And she didn't know if she was going to get out to make it to Florida. But yeah, she's in the Sunshine State right now, probably dipping her toes in some pool, in her parents' pool, because they do have a pool. And I low-key hate you right now.
We miss you and love you, but boy, do I like your microphone and your lighting. I'm not guaranteeing it will be on reserve for you.
She looks fabulous, but there's Nick right behind you. So if you look, you see there's a little blonde guy with the blue shirt right behind you, and Chris in the middle. We got to get a new blanket. That was a gift, by the way. When we first started, one of Nick's boyfriends got us all blankets for Christmas that said Gay Talk with all of our caricatures on it. And I thought it was,
cute.
I thought it was cute. You can Temu something like that.
And I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
I got our fans.
He got us our fans, and that they're in the corner over there, and you flip them open. They say gay talk on them. So, yeah. She's a Temu girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jay, you've been with me all weekend.
Yes.
How the hell are you, darling?
Sore. Sore.
Dare I
tired.
ask, do we even want to talk about why you're sore?
I got my ass flung out of a front doorway yesterday.
So let's start from the beginning. So Jay,
We've been together since Friday.
yes, we had a work function. Well, not a work function. A lot of people from work decided we were all going to get together. We are going to go to this bar in Milford, Connecticut called Nautilus, and do karaoke. And my ex-boss was there, who I miss immensely. And my best friend came with. Jay was there. Not that Jay's not my best friend. He's my best friend too. I have a lot of good best friends. It's quality, not quantity, people.
Yep.
And so we all went, we karaoke'd, and we drank, and Jay and I were dead Saturday. When I tell you, we were two sides of the same coin. Jay on one side, me on the other, snoring, dead on the couch, and two dogs in the middle. That was us.
Yeah, we ran. How many places did we go to trying to find food for you?
Oh my God. I was so drunk. I was like, I need food in my stomach at 2:00 in the morning. It's like, we ended up at Burger King.
What Burger King did we go to?
The one on Kimberly Avenue on
Yeah. See? Oh my God.
Campbell Avenue.
Yeah. Campbell.
This part of Connecticut is not where you want to be if you need food late at night
No.
or early in the morning.
Or early in the morning. It was, I forgot where we went first. They were closed, and we were like, what the hell?
Trish is texting. She's in my seat.
She's in my seat.
She can get over it.
Well,
She'll be
she
fine.
always knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, we got home kind of late.
we did.
We had it was a good night. It was a good night. And,
Well, we start.
it's not something we do often either.
Right.
So,
Right. I mean, at our age, we can't hang like that. So we started at Nautilus and we ended up at Trevi.
Trevi. Yep.
Want to talk about what happened at Trevi? What was going on?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you talk about it.
Well, it was their kink night,
Yes.
which is something that they've recently started doing. And
So there's a whole bunch of people, like ladies, boys, everything in
with
between.
their gear on, leather.
They put
or
their leather
jocks
gear
or,
and jocks and asses out. And I was like, okay, this is cute.
Yeah.
And, I ran into a lot of people that I know, and people are like, what the hell are you doing here? Because I never go to Fairfield.
Yeah.
It's like, it's closer for him because he lives in that area.
Literally
Not-
like
Right.
5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to dive.
Yeah.
I'm going to have me a margarita, and then I'll be in bed in 2 hours, and then she'll
Yeah.
be out.
Yeah.
That's my kind of thing.
Yep.
And so we ended up there, and then, we were dead on Saturday on the couch. And,
It was a long night.
Jay
It
says
was a
to
long
me,
night.
oh, I'm going to come with you to the bar on Sunday.
No, Saturday, I was like, oh, no, before I left, I was like, so where are we going tonight? He goes, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
Have it in you.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you that you're too old to party.
I was dead on the couch.
Yeah, no.
All of
it was
Saturday.
it was a rough Saturday.
Yeah. I even ordered some greasy, like super greasy stuff, like Chinese food, because I wanted to like sort of kind of
Yeah.
have it absorb all that excess alcohol. I think my watch at some point told me your oxygen levels and your breathing levels were very inconsistent yesterday.
Well, Jay.
Well, I got her the wrong breakfast to start with.
She did. It
But
didn't have bacon in
That
it.
was my fault.
Yeah.
You know what? I got there and I was thinking bacon, and then I was like, I don't know. So I went ham, egg, and cheese.
Wow.
What about me
Yeah, I know.
says I don't like bacon?
Yeah, I'm always go for bacon, but I don't know.
That was
I try to play it
the
safe. I
most-
screwed it up, but
that was the
it
most
was- yeah.
epic fail of a breakfast that I have ever experienced in my life.
But you had bacon crumble. You should have told me. I would have thrown some in there. That would have squared it off.
And then I went to Costco and got some cooked bacon that you could
Hallelujah.
just.
Yeah.
Praise the temple.
Yeah.
But wait, but you got in a fight.
Well, not really.
No.
You got in the sorry, I mean literally
Really in the middle
inside
of
the
a fight.
middle of the fight.
Yeah.
So Jay decides to come with me to karaoke.
Not a fight.
And so the night went through without a hitch. Everything was, smooth sailing. Everybody was singing. Everybody was having a good time. And it's always a straight person at a gay bar to just, and I'm saying this with trepidation, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's always a straight person, specifically a straight guy, upset at the fact that the girl is in the bar. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. I mean, it's a gay bar. Everybody's welcome. But be on your best behavior. This is our space, fuckers. Anywho, so I'm packing. It's the end of the night. I am packing my equipment. And all of a sudden, Dave looks at me and says, go get so-and-so, his husband, Bernie, who's downstairs. And I'm so I said, okay. So I put my stuff down. I went downstairs. I said, Bernie, Dave needs you at the door. And I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, it's like chaos at the door. Yeah. These two individuals who were straight were upset because they were outside. Dave had already closed the doors, and they were trying to get into the bar and forcing their way into the bar because their girlfriends were in the bar.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I will go tell them that you are outside and they need to leave. Mm-hmm. You're not coming back in the bar. So now they're trying to push their way through Dave and Bernie and fighting, and then this one who's sitting behind me, because I normally set up right by the door, ends up at the door, and all of a sudden I just see him fly out. I have never seen someone be flung out of a doorway so fast.
Yeah, because what happened when I got to the door, so Bernie is like trying to push both of the guys out, and they're both trying to swing on him at the same time. So I pushed one of the guys away from him, and he's like, don't touch me. And he just came at me. And before I noticed, he had me by the shirt. And he just pulled with all his might. And I just went out the door and into a snowbank. Making snow angels in the middle of the street.
Landed on the street after he flung over the snowbank. And when you look, I swear there's a snow angel on Crown Street.
Thank you for defending the gays and the straight ladies under attack.
It was just it happened so quickly, you know. And so I got up and he's like, Jay, get inside. Like I'm yelling, get inside. And I was like, all right, because I like instinctively I wanted to jump on the guy, and I was like, let me.
Good for you.
So we kind of pushed them out of the way, and then as soon as we were able to, we just pulled the door and locked them out. But it was instant.
Yeah, it all happened in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
wow.
And it was all super fast.
And I only got up because David freaked out. Like David was like, "Oh my God, Bernie!" Like he was screaming at the top of his lungs.
I'm
and I was
outside
like,
at this point. I'm pushing. I'm trying to push Bernie back into the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, as an owner, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to engage when people are behaving like this, and you aim to diffuse, and you defend yourself only when you have no other option.
Yeah.
But that's not what he was doing. He just wanted to go and knock them the fuck out. I was like, listen, Linda, you can't do that. You just can't. And but anyway, he survived.
I survived.
A couple of scrapes.
A couple of scraped elbows. Out of all that, just scraped elbows, which is nuts.
Because he landed doing snow angels. That's all. So he came home, he took his shirt off. I was like, girl, you're bleeding, you're scraped, you are not going to bleed on my sheets. Come on, let's go. So I started cleaning them off, and I put Band-Aids on it.
He wasn't worried about my elbows. It was his sheets.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I understand. He was worried about the mess.
There's already
he would
face
make.
prints on him. Eh?
Yeah. No. Trish left a face print. What worse can be done?
She left, what do you call that? The
it was like the shroud of Jesus.
The shroud of Jesus Christ on my fucking sheets. It was like the shroud of Jesus. So I walked in one day, I'm cleaning the room, and all of a sudden I look at the pillow. I was like, why is there a face on my bed?
I believe you.
It was trash. But anyway.
That would have been me too, because I ain't even wash up. I was like, I'm going to bed.
I digress. But,
We walked in. Oof, man. Walked in. I was like, time for bed. Good night.
Yeah. And
I was out.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
It was a good weekend. All in all, even with the the little scuffle, it was a great weekend.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun. It was fun. And we didn't know. So initially, I had sent out feeders. I was supposed to have a guest. The guest is sick, so she couldn't get into the studio today.
Wow.
It would have been an amazing story. But and we didn't know if you were coming today, right? And so
Oh, I begged her.
it was gonna be Jay and I.
I just had to make a deal with Nicole to figure out transportation for the evening. So
We got you. We got you.
So, but Hope was able to make it, and because obviously Trisha's away, and she's not gonna be here next week either. Are you coming?
We'll work it out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it
We'll
out.
work it out.
Even if we have to move days, we can do that.
We will make it happen.
We will make it happen. And you're gonna sit in that very same seat.
I'm gonna get Trisha's lighting, Trisha's microphone, and Trisha's camera. Thank you.
She's in trouble now. But no, we're super grateful that you're here.
Everyone's replaceable. That's all I'm saying.
Because I admire you so much.
Oh, you
You're
don't have
such
to
a
flatter me.
smart
Thank
woman.
you.
Such a smart, well thought. Like the way you think, it scares me sometimes. It's like the way you put thoughts to words is pretty scary.
Thank you.
But that's a testament to who you are and how dedicated you are to your craft of being, the many things that you are, from an activist, from someone who loves openly, from someone who cares for other people, for, being, a community builder. There's so many hats that you put on, but girl, you kill it.
Thank you.
So I'm just saying.
A little bit of fear is not a bad thing. Just a little bit. Like, not the kind of fear that makes you think that you can't talk to me, that I'm unapproachable, that I'm going to intimidate or otherwise wield influence over you. But, just a little bit of like,
Just a teeny bit.
respect me. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not about fear. It's just like, respect me.
Right. And girl, we do. We do. Because, you deserve it. You work hard. And you are good at what you do. And you know what? A lot of people should be thankful that you are who you are and you are as dedicated as you are, and also as boisterous as you are, and in your face when you need to be, when you are.
Need to be.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
it's amazing.
Well,
You do
that's
great
enough
work.
about me.
Well, let's continue to talk about you now. Okay. So so that's that, and there's a lot of things that are happening in the world. The Olympics happened 2 weeks ago, and we went from the spirit of the Olympics to all hell breaking loose, literally
Well, we had a little intermission, some depositions.
2 days later. So, ragdoll over here being flung outdoors. But I think we should take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to sort of kind of unpack how do we go from, the spirit of unity to the world falling apart in less than freaking 24 hours. So, are we good? Break
We're
time?
good.
All right. We're going to take a break. We will be right back. All right, ladies and gents, we are back from the break. Thank you for allowing us to take that break. We needed it to refresh and do all the good things that we do. But we are back. And right before we went on break, we were talking about the deep contrast from 2 weeks ago to the current state of events today. But we'll start with the Olympics. We weren't on last week, so I really didn't have a chance to sort of kind of talk about the sense of sportsmanship and how good it feels to see people who are at the top of what they do just go out and show the world in a sense in what they can do. And so I wanted to bring that up a little bit and talk about it. And, first and foremost, we didn't have this conversation before, but do you watch the Olympics?
I do.
What about you, Jay?
No.
No, you don't. No.
Summer or winter, or just not in
No,
general?
I think when I was younger, I was so much into sports and all the games and all this, and I played a lot, and I used to watch all that stuff, and after a while, I kind of walked away from it.
Yeah.
So now I feel like so out of touch with it that I just don't follow.
Right.
Like I'll watch big games, World Series and
Yep.
Super Bowl, stuff like that, but other than that, I don't follow it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they happen very infrequently, right? So
Yeah.
they have an alternating schedule. If you don't know, Summer Games happened. 2 years later, the Winter Games. 2 years after that, we're back to the Summer Games. This time around, they did it in Italy. It was a split city thing. So it was the first time, I believe, that they had done something where they were having two different cities be the host cities for the games. And so that was Cortina and Milano, as they say. And, I find that there was a lot of like really amazing moments. The opening ceremonies happening simultaneously in two different areas of Italy and being able to be broadcasted. It was just brilliant the way they did that. And watching the Parade of Nations, right? People coming out and being proud of, representing their country and seeing all the different delegations to me is and also the way that these people get so creative with these opening and closing ceremonies is just incredible. Is there anything specific that really stood out to you, like from either opening or closing ceremonies?
I mean, there was a lot artistically that was happening that I find captivating. I mean, the people who are the creative directors for these ceremonies they're at the top of their game, man. I mean, we see athletes at the top of their game, and we see creative directors at the top of their game. Every one of these ceremonies is memorable to me. But the thing I was thinking about the most when I was watching them was, again, and this has been happening for me for the last few Olympics, summer and winter, which is the complicated nature of representing a country and whatever the relationship is between the individuals participating and the politics of their country at that time. And like right now, the idea of being a nationalist for the United States, really complicated. And so the thought of people donning that uniform, being aware of what's happening behind them, wanting, of course, to win. And often the athletes are telling us, I'm competing for the nation that I want us to be, not always for the nation that we are in this moment. And
Right.
I don't know that that's uniquely American. I'm sure other countries feel the same way, and other athletes from those countries feel the same way. But I was hyper aware of that, of what it meant to wear the stars and the stripes
In this moment. Yeah, I agree 100%. Oh my God, she's not here, and I'm quoting her.
Quoting her already. Trash.
100%. No, I agree. It's not easy to be an American today, right? Not only obviously for what's been happening in the last 24 hours, but since the beginning of this administration, we all remember all too well the first term for this president and how it felt and how we were like literally every opportunity we get, we're like, we're sorry. This is not who we are, right? But this is just what we have to go through, unfortunately. But, to me, like there was a lot of like amazing moments. One of the best things for me, regardless of what country hosts the games, is to see people win in their home territory. And so there were a lot of Italians that just hit it out of the park, and to watch them get up there and accept that gold medal. And, there was a lot of amazing moments for a lot of these athletes. And to me, that is the most endearing part, right? Like you may not be the top person in that field, in that sport, and there are a lot of people that have, either times better than you, have better, skills, or whatever the case may be. But all of a sudden the spotlight is shown on you, and you are in your home country, and you pull something out of you that you just don't think that you have. And when you see that, that is amazing. It's amazing when it happened in 1996 here in the US, when it happens in other places around the world. But I think Italy did an amazing job with the games.
They did.
And overall, I think the messaging was clear. One of the things that we were talking about offline before we came on the air was the fact that, during the closing ceremonies, before they passed the baton on to the French Alps, which is the next host region for the Winter Games, the president of the International Olympic Committee had a speech, as well as the mayors of Milano and Cortino, and local officials, and every single one of them, the messaging, while it was about unity, it was about, camaraderie and being, in the spirit of the games, it was very clear to me that the message they were sending was, what the U.S. is doing right now is just, no, this is not it. We're not up for this, and it was very clear. And, it's making note of the subtle messages, the subtle words that people use, how they choose to, add inflection behind those words, and how they say them, and how they look at that camera and make certain faces. It's like, it was very clear that they were talking to, this asshat that we have in office. I mean, he's a man child.
It's what was funny. So I deliberately rewatched the movie Race, which is about Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics that happened in Berlin under the Nazi regime. And those are Summer Olympics. He was a runner. He was in track and field. And it was, I don't know, not astonishing. It was just revealing to watch a movie about a Black man who was competing in Nazi Germany, and all that went behind the scenes of deciding if the U.S. would even compete in those Olympics, because fascism was so visibly on display. And the U.S., this is pre the war starting, but they are aware, or they have heard the rumors that Jews are being taken into captivity, that they're being put in concentration camps, right? And so the idea of whether or not they would compete, and the pride Americans felt whenever they won a medal, and the anthem of a democratic nation was playing inside of fascist Germany at the time. And I thought about how ironic it is that now we're in a place where people are speaking to our government at the Olympics, Winter Olympics, but they're speaking at the Olympics about our country and considering the impacts of what it means to be an American Olympian in that moment, or to be another country competing and having a moment of, can we bring some truth to power?
And we should. And,
absolutely.
And again, spot on, right? That's what I took out of, it's especially the closing ceremonies.
Yes.
Not so much the opening ceremony. It's all about introducing the delegations. Here's who's competing, and everybody's excited. You can tell there was a shift, right, between the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies. And it was very clear, right, that, the International Olympic Committee was really sending a message out to people like Russia and people like the United States. Like, this is not cool.
Yeah. When
Stop
the spotlight's turned on us, we're no longer the voice of democracy and reason and diplomacy. In fact, people feel the need to speak to us.
Right. And
we are not that.
And the most impressive of all, this is all due to one person. Yeah. One person that put all of these little, chess pieces in place that has spiraled our nation, our great nation that, is seen as the beacon of the world, the beacon on the hill, in such a negative light, and we don't need that.
I'll give the Republicans a little more credit than that and say, because I grew up in it, what they have been building towards, and that he is the personification of what they were building towards. So he came in at the right place at the right time, for sure, and he's making a lot of unilateral decisions based on what he believes is right. I'll give them just a smidge more credit and say there's a machine behind him too that is working to make this happen, and he is the pinnacle of that.
Of course. I mean, he's the voice.
Yeah.
He's the person that goes out there and is not afraid to,
I don't want to give him too much credit is what I'm saying. He's not persuading a bunch of people who are going, oh no, I don't want to do this. He is exactly what they hoped for.
Oh, of course, because they can hide behind him. Yeah. Right? He's the face of it. Mm-hmm. Right? He's MAGA. He's that whole, all of it, right? He is the face of it. And so they can sit here and hide behind small acts of I'm not going to vote here, or I voted for it, but only because of blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Right. And they can talk all this BS and bureaucracy, but in the end, they support it.
Yep.
Right. Because he's still here. He was reelected. And so that's where we are. But anyway, going back to the spirit of the games, awesome games. I think that I'm looking forward to Los Angeles. It's going to be a very weird thing. When you think about in another 2 years, we may be in a situation where we're perhaps maybe transitioning out of this administration. One never knows. We're in the midst of primaries right now. I believe Texas and a couple of other states start primaries tomorrow. And so if you are in any of those states, I implore you to be informed, know who's on your ballot, know who stands for what, and go vote your little heart out. It is your constitutional right, and no executive power and no pen that's put on paper by a president will ever be able to take that away from you.
True. FAFO.
Fuck around and find out. So, that being said, I want to talk about man-child syndrome and and how we went from the spirit of the Olympics, and literally I felt like I was in a deja vu moment, because it wasn't 3 days after the Olympics ended the last time, the Winter Olympics, that Russia invaded Ukraine. And here we are, not even a week after the Olympics have ended, and the United States of America, specifically Donald Trump, because it's him, decided that we were going to go and bomb Iran.
Yep.
And in a split second, when did we start doing press briefings on X? What happened to the days of the president walking into the press room of the White House and giving a press conference saying, this is what we're doing, here's why we're doing it? This showed up on X overnight.
Why would you expect anything less from this current administration?
I mean, he doesn't even get along with, no, he did it on Truth Social. Excuse me.
Truth
Correction.
Social.
Correction. He has his own platform.
Yeah.
Which I encourage you not to support, but that's neither here or there. But literally, in the middle of the night, he decides to go on his platform, and that is now the official. That is where news people, people who hate this man, have to actually go register on Truth Social just to know what this man is up to, because he announces everything online.
Of course,
on social media.
I mean, look at what he's doing though. That's his business gimmick right there.
Right.
If I only go through this BS app and refuse to do it the way everybody else has done it, they have no choice but to come and figure out what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, it's he's generating revenue again, making himself and his family rich by forcing people to use apps they don't want to use.
Right. I refuse to. I'm going to watch the snippets elsewhere because I'm not going to just, sign up for an app that they own simply because I want to know what this man is up to. Everybody else is going to report on it anyway. And so I don't want to waste my breath nor my time supporting a platform that supports hate. And I know that the news organizations have to do it because that's the only way you can get news on this man nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. But this man-child with man-child syndrome is really as he has historically bypassed a lot of norms that typically we would expect from an American president, right? Long gone are the days of an actual press conference in the press room of the White House. Do they still have a press room? Did he bulldozer that too?
They still have it.
Oh, but they don't use it.
No, they're turning it
Clearly.
into a bar, I heard. For the ballroom.
Lord have mercy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, that's something I'll sign up for, though, if there's alcohol involved, maybe. No, but it's serious. So, we
He
found
didn't go
out.
to Congress. That is the thing that makes me the maddest.
Right. We found out Friday night when we got home into, obviously this is now 3:00 in the
It was,
morning.
yeah, Saturday morning.
Saturday
technically.
morning, all of a sudden
We
I
woke
turn on the
into that
TV. It's
nonsense.
like, boom, we're bombing Iran. And, this is now the second time in less than 3 months that this man has arbitrarily made a decision to use military force to go in and depose a government that, whether they were chosen by their people or not, it's none of our fucking business. But we find ourselves being here yet again. And the message is very clear. He's like, oh no, they're trying to come up with like nuclear weapons. But what he's saying publicly is completely different. So you made a good point. The man is bypassing Congress. And constitutionally, no other government entity but Congress can declare war.
Yep.
And so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, he's supposed to go to Congress and decide we're going to war. I mean, there's no other way to interpret bombing a country intentionally to kill its highest leadership. I mean, that is an act of course, if it happened to us, we would understand that is an act of war. If someone bombed the White House, that is an act of war. And so this idea that we get to go do that without following any semblance of constitutional law. And I'm not a traditionalist when it comes to constitutional law, but my goodness, that was put in there for a reason.
Right.
The point was that it was not to establish a king. A king can go and do that on his own. A king can decide unilaterally. But the point of creating this democratic republic was that we would have a Congress that puts checks and balances. And so a president, if he decided to go to war, would have to vet that through someone. And I think, George W. Bush started, well, he wasn't the first, but he put us in a pickle in the modern history in terms of starting a war and then retroactively going to Congress and saying like, well, in order to get certain permissions, I obviously have to go to Congress.
But this president's not even doing that.
This isn't even rooted in some terrorist attack, right? This isn't rooted in something that happened immediately to our country. He says it's about preserving American citizens. I will be fascinated to hear what his argument is for how Americans were at threat.
Any person in that administration, I would be fascinated to understand their reasoning why this is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we know there's history with Iran. We know that, there have things, there have been things that have happened historically. We know that, it's no secret that they have been trying to, come up with some way, shape, or form to develop nuclear technology that would potentially give them the opportunity to come up with some sort of weapon that could be, weaponized against other governments. But there was no immediate threat.
No, two things can be true at the same time. So it can be true that the leader of Iran, who was just murdered, was not a good person, was not, necessarily serving his people. And at the same time, it was supposed to be America first. It was supposed to be protect Americans first, serve Americans, be the president who never has to govern over war. I mean, I remember him campaigning and saying,
he did.
There was never a war under me. Mm-hmm. There was a war under other people. There was never a war under me. And it's like, hello? When did it become our job? I'm all for diplomacy, but that's not what this is.
No,
this is
not
not
at all.
exerting our force to try and better another country, try to help the people in that country who are asking for support. That's not what this is.
Yeah. And I suspect that Netanyahu and the government of Israel has a lot to do with influencing this man and to make this kind of, rash decision. Because in the end, the one thing that you ran on, I'm not a war president. Mm-hmm. I'm going to end wars, right? Criticized the Biden administration, how we pulled out of Afghanistan, the whole 9 yards. That's not who I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. He just lied to his entire base. Mm-hmm. Because here we are, right in the midst of all of this again. Then, to top it off, it's like, you already did this once. We've already attacked, right? And you said, hey, we neutralize their attempts to, become nuclear, a nuclear state So what was it? Did it not work the first time?
Yeah.
Right? You don't go to Congress. You don't ask for permission from the people who elect you to be our representative. And here we are putting servicemen and women in danger. Because
But
immediately,
he's not acting like a president.
well,
Dictator, 110%.
100%. You know,
The
again,
news stories get to change overnight, and that is his main focus.
Yeah.
Always. He's
Right.
been
Absolutely.
unabashed about that.
right. And you know,
All of a
what's-
sudden, we haven't heard anything about Epstein or the depositions or.
it's like Hillary Clinton
Yeah.
being deposed
Hey, yeah.
was
they're-
fucking
yeah.
big news.
Yeah. Hey, they're deposing her. Let's start a war.
Her husband was being deposed the very next day.
Yep.
Have you heard anything about Bill Clinton?
Nope.
Only things I've looked for.
Did you?
Nope.
I haven't, and no one's talking about it. But you know, what I want to talk about is the impact that this has, because immediately after these strikes occurred, Iran, as any normal country that's sovereign would do, retaliated.
Absolutely.
Not only to, you know, against the US, but also our allies and places where we have bases.
Yep.
And those are American lives that are currently there that are now in danger. You are putting our soldiers in danger unnecessarily by taking this action on your own, because again, he didn't go to Congress to ask Congress whether or not he could be given the authority to declare war.
Yeah, because normally, I mean, once you go to Congress and it's decided, normally those first initial warnings, you know, if you're traveling outside of the U.S., then, you know, we urge you to return. I mean, there's a whole process to this thing. It's
No,
not
well, of
just
course.
yeah, you know, and look at the amount of people now, influencers and people traveling that are stuck in these countries.
They're stuck. You know, you have the Arab Emirate states right now
Yeah.
under attack. They were showing, and I don't know, this could be AI generated, but they were showing a drone
Yeah,
literally missing the tallest building in the world.
yeah,
Right. And like you're showing drones flying over and hitting buildings and exploding while people are recording all of this, bombs dropping everywhere. Like these people started bombing everyone in retaliation. And as of right now, as I understand it, we have 4 American troops that have already died in
Well,
this.
and Trump has come out and said more American lives will be lost. And it'd be one thing if we were saying American lives will be lost to fight, you know, fill in the blank cause, a fascist regime, a country that's trying to attack us, you know, and that's the point of going through Congress, is that we understand war is sometimes the business. Sometimes it is the thing that a government has to do, especially what is considered an international superpower in terms of military force. But you need to have a rationale for that.
Right. And
You
he
need to
doesn't.
tell us why.
It's a massive war launched by a man with no plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
It's
plan.
it's
There's
scary.
nothing noble about it. There's
No.
nothing courageous about it.
And you know, and then he goes on and he has these press conferences and he's speaking in terms of like, I get man-child syndrome, which is why I keep saying the word. He is a man-child who is gung-ho on figuring out how he's going to make the Epstein files disappear, how he's going to, you know, please his base, how he's going to please his little friend Benjamin Netanyahu over there in Israel. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, then he goes and speaks, and I'm like, was that even a sentence? Did what he say make any sense? The whole rationale, the whole point of going in was because they're restarting their nuclear program, but now it's no, we want to overthrow this government and get rid of and free the people of Iran. Which one is it?
Well, something I would encourage people to research is that it was in the middle of diplomatic negotiations.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
other part of this,
Oh, that's
right?
right.
There are obviously we don't want to have a bunch of nuclear superpowers in this world. We understand that. And for those who would counter and say, well, this is what you must do to squelch those superpowers. Okay, there's a lot of ways to do that. There's a lot of ways that you can remove incentives and access to a nation that is trying to develop a nuclear superpower. And there were channels in process. So
Like
you're in
literally
the midst of negotiations.
2
and what
days
you do
before
is
that.
bomb.
Yeah, 2 days before that. They were talking about, oh, we're in negotiations. We're talking. You had the French President Macron involved in all of this. I believe he was, how would I say, give me a word. Because
Mediating?
he was mediating the whole situation, right? And, you have other nations involved. And, now it's like, this is dire. And, they're expecting, which I don't believe, this man saying that this would be like a 4-week campaign.
Yeah.
We expected that, Desert Storm was going to be short. We expected that, the second, Iraqi war was going to be short. And instead we were in there for 20 years, both in Iraq and Afghanistan, and spent trillions and trillions of American tax dollars to bring soldiers back in body bags. I have a veteran on one side. I have an active duty person right now who's deployed and was deployed and has been and wouldn't come back until October. And I have his wife and his daughter living 4 doors down from me, wondering whether or not within, when they announced that 4 people were dead, that if she was going to be one of those widows that would have received that 24-hour, like that call within 24 hours to notify family members that your serviceman or woman has been killed. It's heartbreaking to see what that woman, walking up and down the street with her daughter. It breaks my heart because, normally you would see her very chipper, happy, walking up, skipping like, life is great. And it's very somber. Like I watch her walk up and down and, haven't had an opportunity to stop her and say, how are you? Right. Which is the neighborly thing to do. Her husband and I politically, we don't align, but he's a service member and he serves his country.
Yep.
And he's out there now on a base somewhere in the Middle East that could potentially be bombed. And she doesn't even know if one of those 4 service members that passed away is her husband. And that's scary.
That's crazy. And like I was telling you earlier, my oldest sister posted her grandson, one of my great nephews, is currently stationed in Afghanistan. So, which I wasn't aware of. Kid's 22. You had a family member call today, her boyfriend, right? Her current boyfriend.
Yeah. I had my
who was
cousin call
deployed.
me.
Yeah. So it's like, you don't realize, the impact it has.
The anxiety.
And the anxiety on top of that. Now you have family that's losing it, because there's, it's not like they could pick up a phone and call you and hey, I'm good.
Right.
They can probably email, if they're in an area where they can.
Yeah.
And if they're not, I remember during the first war, was it first war or second war? My cousin in New York, he was deployed. He was a marksman. He was in the desert for I think it was like close to 16 months.
Wow.
So my cousin, his mom, hadn't heard from him in almost a year and a half.
And
so
it's
you
scary.
imagine a parent having to sit for 16 months, 18 months, no word, because you're in the middle of a desert. They had him in a tower, guarding a road.
Right.
It's and I mean, knock on wood or simulated wood, because he was in one of those choppers that was shot down. And he lost a couple, a lot of good friends there, and we're lucky to still have him with us. But this is shit you don't realize that's happening. It's not happening here. It's not our back door.
That's right.
Right.
We a lot of people don't. It doesn't impact them the way it does, unless you're the one that's losing someone in these wars.
Right.
Or if you're in one of these countries that's being affected. I mean, take 9/11, for example. People lost their shit. They didn't know what the hell was happening. So imagine that happening here.
Right.
So
And with the
it's-
frequency that it does
with the-
in some
yeah.
of these nations.
Yeah. And now with social, with social media, now we're seeing it live. People are posting videos as it's happening.
Yep.
It's insane.
Right.
It's scary to just watch this stuff go down. And you have people that try to downplay it, but they can't anymore. They
Yeah.
can't like they used to.
And the heartbreaking part of it is watching parents parents navigating bombs flying over a city with their children
Absolutely.
and feeling helpless. Like, how do I, like, all I can do is hug my child. I can't physically protect my child from something that could potentially blow up the very space that I exist in.
Yeah.
That is heartbreaking, right? And we have been
Absolutely.
very fortunate that there has been very few times since the bombing of Pearl Harbor, obviously the exception 9/11, and where we would have to experience something like that on American soil,
True.
Right.
right? The same for, say, people in United Kingdom or people in France. You know, it's been quite a very long time since they had to. But this is everyday occurrence for people in the Middle East, and having someone disregard the chaos that ensue by making a decision like this on your own without going to the powers that be to guide you and say, let's think this through. We have diplomatic channels open. You don't do that.
Yep.
But it's you know,
Man
and you look at
child.
it, any company nowadays, just to different perspective on it. Any company right now, any major company right now, if their CEO decides to make changes that affects their employees and their consumer in a negative way, you think the company is going to keep them on?
They're gone. They're gone. Which is why I say, hey, listen, primaries start tomorrow. And we have work to do as an American people, as a party. Because
Because
make
the
no
people
mistake.
in his cabinet, they're more afraid of him than follow him.
Let me tell you, make no mistake, the Democratic Party right now, for all of the gaining that we potentially may have in these midterm elections, are a divided party. We are a hurt party. There's a lot of division. We need to unify. We need to figure out what we can work with each other on, understand what is just a no-go, and shut the fuck up and do what you got to do. We got to get this man out of office, or we have to nip him.
Yep.
We have to nip him in the midterms and say, we're taking your power away.
The midterms are so important. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people forget that there is legislation happening across this country to make it extremely difficult to vote. And so you have time right now. Right now is the time. Pretend that the elections are happening tomorrow. Don't pretend like they're happening in November. Pretend like they're happening right now, because you've got to check, double check, triple check that you are registered to vote in your state or your county, so that you can impact both the local elections and the national elections. Because what we have right now is an opportunity to do our best. And it really is just our best. I recognize it's not a silver bullet. It's not a perfect cure-all. But we have a moment right now where we can get our local, I'm talking about your county, I'm talking about your city officials. We've got our state level representatives, and then we've got some congressional races as well. And this is the moment where we can invest a lot of our energy. And there are things that we can do. I mean, frankly, if we take back Congress, we can, at the very least, symbolically impeach. Perhaps we can get enough to actually impeach.
Who knows? I mean, if we get the Senate, we might be able to get there. Right?
Yeah.
This is the very first time in a very long time and where it's very likely that we will flip the Senate.
Yep.
But we can't do that if we are still a divided party or holding on to, grudges of her emails or Bernie or bust, or, we need to get past that. We need to unify, like really unify as a party and get out there and vote. Like you said, local elections. Look at all of the pushback that has happened on this administration just on the topic of immigration,
I know.
right? And these raids and ICE and the whole 9 yards. It is local government. It is mayors, like the mayor of Milwaukee, of
New Haven.
New Haven.
It's mayors, it's state representatives, it's governors who can help us feel safer where we are. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to triple check that you are registered and eligible according to your state to vote, because there are so many states around us that are changing these protocols every day.
Right.
And it's their state legislatures that get to make those decisions. And so we have to do our due diligence from now until November to make sure that we still can cast our vote and have it count. Especially mail-in ballots, man, there's been a lot of scams around this.
Right.
And so we got to make sure that we are eligible to vote and that we do our best. And then I would say listen to your local grassroots leaders because they're telling you where you need to put your pressure. We know
Right.
I know where that is in New Haven and in Connecticut, but everyone else listening.
And there's a lot of people like you that are doing really hard work, amazing work. And, if you can, one of the easiest things that you can do to help is to join in their efforts and volunteer some time. Go knock on some doors, speak to some people. It doesn't cost you anything. There might not be pay behind it, but it's you're doing your civil duty in helping others understand the reality that we find ourselves in, and that's important. So, all right, wow, that was a
Full episode.
that was a lot.
It's a lot to talk
That was a
about.
lot, and as always,
I'm sure there's stuff we're leaving out anyway, but it's.
I'm sorry to ramble and thank you all.
No, absolutely. This is what we're here for.
there's always next week. So, all right, we do have to wrap it up. So, as usual, I am going to give Trish some love and then do his Mama Kim's minute. So, here we go. All right, ladies and gents, here is Mama Kim's minute. 28 LGBTQ plus people who changed the course of history. Number 2, the real life story of Ron Woodruff, the hero of the Dallas Buyers Club, depends on who you ask, but that story is available. And of course, the Netherlands appoints the first out gay and youngest prime minister ever. And that's a plus. And that is Mama Kim's minute for today. Those stories will be posted on tonight's post, and you can access the links and read those stories for yourselves. We encourage that you do that. And then, of course, I'm going to shoot it over to JBird. Jay.
Alrighty, on this day in gay history. On this day, March 2nd, 1982. Oh, that's better. Wisconsin became the first U.S. state to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation, setting a groundbreaking legal precedent for LGBTQ plus civil rights across the country.
Yes, JBird. Still you.
Yep. If you love the show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
Yes, Queen. Next week, we're not going to have Trish. Just letting you know.
Again, we may have a guest. We may not.
We may have a guest. We may not. I know that we were negotiating with Hope because she's a busy woman, and so we may record. We may stick to Monday, but there's a possibility we might shift to maybe either Tuesday or Wednesday, because obviously we don't want people running around, trying to make things work. They happen when they happen. So count on it on Monday, but it might be Tuesday. Just letting you all know. Hope, over to you, darling. Let me give you your love.
Thank you. Get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean you out without hurting your bum. Take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs. Increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit. Get long-lasting, pleasurable Glide silicone anal lube. And get all the information you need with Dr. G's book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessories today.
Yes, Queen. I haven't asked, and the next time Dr. G comes on board or joins us, so we know that the powder packs to clean your bum.
Yep.
Like, I'm wondering if maybe he's going to at some point come up with products for the feminine.
I mean, let's not say that the feminine also don't need anal powder packs.
So yeah, you can clean out the anal. True,
But
very
yes,
factual.
A
But
vaginal powder pack would not be.
yeah, a pH balanced vaginal pack that
Because
doesn't.
Mother Nature, that brand, it's like not good for you. So
Yeah.
we need some good feminine hygiene.
Yeah, even though he's a bum doctor, he is our in-house proctologist. I think
Why not?
who knows. Maybe you would like to stick your finger somewhere else, Dr. G. Anyway.
We're going to get banned. No.
No, we're not.
No.
JBird.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, it's you.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to put a ring on it.
That's right.
Okay. Our show is available.
Or a rag doll.
Or a rag doll. Time to put a Band-Aid on it. Ouch.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Our show. This guy. Our show is available on our website, gaytalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, and now Spotify.
Before you go, I just wanted to say that all day long, I have
The
been...
entire day.
The entire day, I have been coming up with puns and singing songs and changing the lyrics to rag dolls and people flying and the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
I have been on his shit all day
All
about this.
day.
All day.
I am desensitized at this point.
And it's
Doesn't matter.
glorious.
Yeah.
And it's glorious. All right. My dear
Oh.
Hope.
You can also find us on social media, Facebook at Gay Talk 2.0, Instagram Gay Talk 2.0, and email us at gaytalk2.0@gaytalk20.com.
Yes, Queen. All right, ladies and gents, if you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also give us a call and leave us those questions you may have on our voicemail, and we can answer those for you on the show. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK, and if you need all of the digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live every Monday-ish, starting at 6 p.m. Might be Tuesday next week. And if you want any information on the show, go to gaytalk20.com. Ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you. And y'all have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.